Shalom. This is a video on Isaiah chapter 7, and we're going to read in context to see if it's pertaining about the birth of Christ, and to see if it was about his time and who the sign given to, and we're going to see if it's a virgin birth or not. All right. I'm going to use my stones for this. Barak Hashem Yahweh Ka. Alright, I'm going to start off with verse 1 in context, right? So we can see what this is about. Okay. So, start to this side. Give it a sec. It happened in the days of Ahaz. See, now we see in verse 1, it's about the time of Ahaz, right? So now that's a cut already. We know that it's not in the time of Christ, right? Okay, now I'm going to begin. I'm going to keep going. The son of Jotham, the son of Uzziah, the king of Judah. Risen, the king of Aram, and Pekah, the son of Ramallah, the king of Israel, went up to wage war against Jerusalem. But he could not triumph over it. It was to the house of David, saying, Aram has joined with Ephraim. Now we see that the kingdom of Aram and the kingdom of Ephraim, which is or the kingdom, right, of Israel, that they're forming an alliance to go up against the land of Judah, which that time was the king of which is the king of Ahaz. Okay, and his heart and the heart of the people shuddered, like the shuddering of the trees of the forest in the wind. Yahweh said to Isaiah, Go and meet Ahaz, you and your son Sherzabab, at the edge of the channel of the upper pool, at the road of the launderer's field, and say to him, Be calm and still, and fear not. Let your heart not grow and faint before thee. Two smoldering spent firebrands before the burning wrath of Risen and Aram, and before the son of Ramallah, because Aram, along with Ephraim and the son of Ramallah, has concealed evil against you, and saying, Let us attack Judah and vex it and annex it to ourselves, and the crown of the son of Tabel as a king within it. Thus says my Lord Yahweh, Elohim, it shall not endure, and it shall not be, for the capital of Aram is Damascus, and the head of Damascus is risen, and the 65 more years Ephraim will cease to be people, and the capital of Ephraim is Samaria, and the head of Samaria is the son of Ramallah. If you do not believe this, it's because you lack faith. Now, verse 14. No, Salak. This is verse 10, right? Now, here's another key verse right here to see if this was a sign to Mary or Joseph, right? Like in the book of Matthew, or not. Yahweh spoke further to Ahaz, saying, Request a sign for yourself from Yahweh your Elohim. Request it in the depths of the or high or above. Now this is another cut. We see the sign was offered, right, to Ahaz. Now that was a cut. But Ahaz said, I will not request. I will not test Yahweh. Isaiah responded, "Hear now, the house of David, it is not enough for you that you scorn even my God, Elohim. Therefore my Lord himself will give you a sign." Here's this the famous verse, right? In verse 14 that Christians like to use to say it's a prophecy of to Christ, right? And we're going to see that it's speaking in that not talking about a future tense, right? Like in Matthew, right? Behold, a young woman. See, now we see that it says young woman, not a virgin, right? Alma, right? Alma does not mean virgin. It means young woman or young maiden, right? Is pregnant and will bear a son, and she will name him Emmanuel. Okay, now we in the Hebrew, right? Now it was to be the sign, right? But in awat, awat means a sign, right? A signal, something we could, you could see, right? Something that we could see that's going to happen. Now, how would this be a sign? Just think about it. How would this be a sign for Ahaz if Mary would give a birth, but through a virgin birth, right? Way years ahead of his time. How is that possible, right? That just doesn't make any sense because obviously he wouldn't live that long. Okay. Now let's continue. He will eat cream and honey as soon as he knows to arbor evil and choose good. I could just end this off right here, but let me read the New Testament, right? Book of Matthew. They like to use this for as a prophecy fulfilled, right? We see that in verse 14 it says she will, right? She will name him Emmanuel. God is with us, right? She will name him Emmanuel. Now in Matthew, in the KJV, okay, I'm gonna read verse 21, and it says, and she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus, for he shall save his people from their sins. Now all this was done, and that might be fulfilled what was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, Behold, a virgin shall be with a child, and shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which being interpreted as God is with us. Then Joseph, being raised from the sheep, did as the angel of the Lord had bidden him, and took him as his wife. And he heard not until she had brought forth her firstborn son, and he's called his name Jesus. Right? But even some Christian Israel will be like, well, the virgin birth, or even if you don't believe in that, some will say, his father was Joseph, right? His earthly father was Joseph. But in verse 20 in Matthew, chapter 1, it says that he was a son of David, right? Joseph. But in the book of Luke, in chapter 3, verse 23, it says that Joseph was the son of Heli. So they don't agree, even within itself of the New Testament. But we're gonna continue, right? But in the Hebrew, so I'm gonna finish it off right here. Verse 16. For before the child will know to arbor evil and choose good, the land of the two kings whom you will fear will be abandoned. Right? It's talking about those two kings, the kingdom of Israel, Pekah, and the kingdom of Aram risen, right? And you could read that in 2 Kings chapter 15 about Pekah, right? Being cut off, and 2 Kings chapter 16 risen, right? That was already fulfilled in the time of, what I mean? And there we have it. We see who was the sign given to, and the time of Ahaz, and it wasn't about no virgin birth. It was just a sign. That sign was about these two kings were going to be cut off, right? And with that, I say shalom.